If you have been working really hard on your health and fitness goals and you are still not seeing enough progress with your body composition, fat loss and muscle building goals, in this video today I'm going to give you 6 mistakes and go into detail a little bit as to why that might be. Now, the first mistake I see is women trying to just sit in fat loss all year round. That's miserable. And if you don't have planned breaks in there, quite often, you may find you have a bad day, you feel guilt and shame, you then overeat because you know that you're going to be really restrictive again all year. It's important to take diet breaks to give your mind and body a little bit of a reset. In the fitness world, we call this deloads as well, where we have a little bit more food and we take the training intensity down. If I had a lot of body fat to lose, I would put myself in a fat loss phase for a few months, have a little bit of a diet break where you sit at maintenance and you practice sitting at maintenance and switch the mindset to building muscle and strength versus dropping body fat, and then again, go again. You're gonna have holidays, you're gonna have moments where you want to be out of a fat loss phase. Take it. It's going to make it so much easier to adhere on this journey, to not feel guilt or shame, which then causes self-sabotage. So make sure you've got diet breaks planned. I also see women lose the body fat that they want to lose, but they're still stuck in that fat loss mindset. They're scared to eat more. They'll watch their weight creep up a little bit, which will happen when you sit in maintenance because you're going to have a little bit more water retention, you're going to have more food in the gut, and they panic and they try and diet again. And they're just going through this eat more diet, eat more diet. People do this for years. That is not a healthy, happy life. We're also not going to be able to hold on to muscle mass. We're going to start losing it. It's going to affect your metabolism. Focus on feeling strong, building muscle. Take yourself out of that fat loss phase as soon as you can and focus on strength and building muscle. The next one is thinking you are strength training and you're working on hypertrophy, which is all about building muscle, when you're actually not. Body pump classes don't count. Doing random workouts where you're just lifting the weight and you're not really focusing on mind-muscle connection, you don't have good range of motion, and my head, it doesn't really count. It's just movement. We need to really challenge the muscle tissue. We need to stress it out so that after your session, your body is focusing on repairing that muscle tissue. If you're not training with enough intensity, it's not going to do its thing. And especially if you're a woman over 35, 40s, 50s, our muscle mass unfortunately just wants to run away from us as we age. But if you eat enough protein, if you strength train the right way with the right intensity, you can hold on to that muscle mass or build that muscle mass as best as you can. I've spoken to so many women on calls and they'll tell me their strength training, and when I ask them what they're doing, it's actually classes that they're doing where they're just lifting up random weights. They're not necessarily focusing on getting stronger each session, which is what we want to be doing. We want to set plan, or at least know the weights you're using, and as the weeks go on, we want to challenge our bodies and we want to try and increase the weight or the reps or slow the movement down. Just make it harder. That is what progressive overload is. If you're not doing that, in my head, you're not properly strength training for your goals, if your goals are to build muscle mass / drop body fat. The next mistake is chasing perfectionism. Oh my God, this is like the biggest one. Perfectionism does not exist on this journey. If you are striving for it, you're gonna have a miserable ride and you're gonna fail, right? I always say my clients diet way better than me, but I'm very good at bouncing back quick, not letting one meal, one night out spiral my mindset and turn into a day, 2 days, a week. I'm like, oh wow, that was fun, I enjoyed that, and then I pick myself up and go again. You're going to have social events on this journey, and if for you to adhere to this plan, we need to be able to include that in, and that requires you not being perfect. You've heard this time and time again. Consistency is key. Don't strive for perfectionism. I think a lot of people get confused though. I think people think consistency and being consistent is doing everything to a T, which it isn't. It's trying your best with it. If you slip up somewhere, just getting back as quick as you can. What I like to say to my clients is all about having a good bounce back ability, having a meal that was off plan, but we bounce back as quick as possible and we make the next meal on plan. This way, it's going to be easier for you to adhere to, and you can adhere to it for as long as you need to hit your goals. The next one is not being honest with yourself. So a lot of people will say, I eat really healthy, or I don't eat a lot, and I just can't lose weight, I hit 10,000 steps, I go to the gym 6 times a week. But then when we break it down and we're getting real, A lot of people are in that all or nothing mindset. So they're either being really restrictive, eating low calories, or they've gone the other way and they're overeating. Some people forget about alcohol, and actually they're drinking a lot of alcohol, and their weekends are outdoing all of their week's hard work. So they're on it Monday to Friday, but then the weekends outdo all of that. Some people are emotionally eating and they're kind of forgetting about it. They're being like evening snackers. In the evening they're eating, and in their head, because they didn't eat much all day, they're not eating a lot. And this is very common. A lot of women wake up, they skip breakfast, they eat a chicken salad for lunch, they eat probably chicken salad or something similar for dinner, and then they overeat in the evening. But in their head, they kind of feel like they're not eating much. It's all about taking a big step back and thinking, okay, to drop body fat, if that's your goal, I need to be in energy deficit, right? That still counts, no matter how old you are. What is causing me to come out of that energy deficit? Why am I not in any energy deficit? Are you not sleeping enough, so you're really tired, so you're finding you're snacking and you're not moving much? Are you an evening snacker? Are you eating lots of really nutritious food, but it's very high in fat, which is taking your calories through the roof? Are your weekends outdoing your weekends? There will be a reason why you're not dropping body fat. Be honest with your fat, be honest with yourself, work out what it is. The next one is thinking you need to be motivated. So quite often when I ask someone, why do you feel like you've not hit this goal by yourself so far? They always say motivation. Now, unfortunately, motivation usually comes when you're deep in pain. Say you've been told you've got a heart problem, or you've got high cholesterol, or you need to lose weight because you've got a health scare. People are then motivated to get up and change. Well, most people anyway. Now, we don't want it to get to that point. You need to learn to take action even when you are not motivated. I probably would say I am motivated 40% of the time to train, but I still do it anyway. Once you start taking action and you start seeing results, you're gonna feel more motivated. But even then, you're gonna have days you do not feel motivated. It's just reminding yourself to get up and go, and you're always gonna feel so much better. No one regrets a workout, unless obviously you've injured yourself. It's just getting yourself there. So when you don't feel motivated, just tell yourself, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm just gonna do 10 minutes. If I do 10 minutes and I still wanna leave. But to be honest, you won't. Once you're there, you're gonna get the session done. So just try and make it feel as easy as possible. Tell yourself, I'm just gonna go and do 10 minutes. When it comes down to motivation, or when it comes to eating well, just make sure your environment is set up for success. Get lots of good healthy food in. Don't buy all the biscuits and multi-packets of crisps. Like, you're literally setting yourself up for failure. There's loads of things that we can do to help make sure you still hit your goals when you are not feeling motivated. And then finally, the last one is comparing your chapter to someone who has been on this journey for 10 plus years. The amount of times I've had people say to me, I really want your abs, or I want your shoulders, or I want the shape of your legs. I've been training for 15 years, and people expect to get this in 12 weeks, 6 months, a year. You need to be in this for the long run and come at it from a place of, I'm doing this for my long-term health. This isn't something you should just do, get the result and stop. So just focus on every day, finding all the wins every day, the health benefits, feeling more energized, feeling stronger, feeling fitter. And then over time, you'll look back years from now and be like, I am so glad I started. I look incredible, I feel incredible, but don't be comparing to everyone else. Stay in your lane, and I promise you, this journey is gonna feel a hell of a lot easier. So to summarize, our 6 mistakes I've spoken about in this video are chasing fat loss all year round, forever for some people. Thinking you're strength training when you're actually not, and you don't have enough intensity there, and you're just doing classes. Chasing perfectionism. If you want to get results, that doesn't exist. Not being honest with yourself and wondering why you are not getting results. Thinking you need to be motivated every single day, when in reality we just need to choose discipline. And comparing your chapter to someone else. That's it for today. If you want lots of tools and resources on how to thrive as you age, I'm going to pop the link to my Facebook group below. See you in there.